You walk through the grocery store like you've done 1,000 times before. But now, it feels more confusing than ever. One aisle tells you carbs are the enemy. The next screams about protein. A magazine near the checkout says fruit has too much sugar, while a podcast last week swore by green smoothies at dawn. And somewhere in the middle of all that noise, you wonder, what am I really supposed to eat now that I'm over 50? You want to take care of your body. You're not looking for a miracle or a beach body. You just want to feel steady, clear-headed, comfortable in your skin. You want energy that lasts through the day, joints that don't ache by dinner, maybe even sleep that doesn't break into pieces by 2 a.m. And you've heard it has something to do with food, but no one seems to agree on how. Some diets say no bread. Others say no meat. Some insist on fasting. Others demand 6 small meals. And all of it feels exhausting, complicated, unattainable. Here's the truth. You don't need a complicated diet to eat well after 50. You need clarity. You need simplicity. You need food that supports your body where it is now. Not where it was at 25, not where some influencer says it should be, but right here in this chapter, because your body has changed. Hormones shift, digestion slows, muscle mass decreases. Your bones, heart, brain, they all ask for slightly different things than they used to. And when you learn to feed those needs gently, consistently, without rules, you begin to feel like yourself again. Not just nourished, but alive. That's what this video is about. Not rules, not restriction, not guilt, but 6 simple principles of smart, sustainable eating after 50 that don't involve calorie counting, expensive supplements, or eating things you hate. You don't need to throw out your pantry or memorize a food pyramid. You just need to understand what your body asks for now and give it that in a way that feels natural. Over the next 6 parts, we'll walk through what actually matters, the nutrients that support longevity, the mistakes most people make without realizing it, and the quiet shifts that lead to brighter mornings, steadier afternoons, and more restful nights. And the best part? You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to get it all right on day one. This isn't about clean eating or willpower. It's about connection, listening to your body, respecting it, and feeding it like someone you care about. So let's begin, not with what to remove, but with what to include. Because the first secret to eating well after 50 has nothing to do with dieting and everything to do with protein. For most of your life, you probably didn't think twice about protein. Maybe you had a chicken breast here and there, some eggs in the morning, a sandwich at lunch. But after 50, something shifts inside the body that makes protein not just important, but essential. That's because starting in your 50s and accelerating into your 60s and 70s, your body naturally begins to lose muscle. Not because you're doing anything wrong. It's simply part of the aging process. But the problem is, less muscle means more weakness, more fatigue, more risk of falling, slower healing. And if you're not giving your body the raw material it needs to maintain that muscle, the loss speeds up. That raw material is protein. And here's what's surprising. Most adults over 50 don't get nearly enough. Not because they're starving, but because they eat lighter, smaller portions, fewer full meals. They skip breakfast or just have toast and coffee. Lunch might be a salad or a snack. Dinner gets smaller with age, and protein quietly disappears from the plate. The result? A steady decline in strength, energy, and resilience. But it doesn't have to be that way. You don't need to drink protein shakes or count grams obsessively. You just need to build your meals around protein instead of adding it as an afterthought. That means starting the day with eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, or a nut butter spread. It means choosing a lunch with beans, tuna, chicken, or tofu, not just leafy greens. It means making dinner hearty, not heavy. Think baked fish, lentil soup, or grilled turkey with roasted vegetables. Even a scoop of beans or lentils in your soup makes a difference. Protein doesn't have to be meat, and it doesn't have to be expensive. 1 egg has 6 grams. A cup of lentils has 18. A serving of Greek yogurt can hit 15 to 20 grams easily. What matters is consistency. A little at every meal, a little in each snack. This helps preserve your muscles, keeps your metabolism more active, supports hormone balance, even helps regulate blood sugar. It also helps with satiety. You feel fuller longer, which means fewer energy dips, fewer cravings, and a more stable mood throughout the day. Paul, 67, realized he was getting most of his calories from bread, cereal, and pasta. I wasn't eating junk, he said, but I felt weak, like I couldn't bounce back from a day of yard work. His doctor suggested protein, not a supplement, just more attention to food. Eggs in the morning, tuna or beans at lunch, chicken stir-fry at night. Within weeks, his stamina improved. I didn't feel young again, he said, but I felt capable. That was enough, and it is enough. Protein isn't about building muscle like a bodybuilder. It's about protecting the strength and independence you've earned. So before you cut calories or cut carbs or cut joy, check your protein. Add to your plate. Add to your day. Because this one change, it builds everything else. In the next part, we'll talk about the other half of the plate. Not protein, but color, and why what's missing from most meals isn't flavor, but the vibrant variety that your brain, your heart, and your gut crave more than ever after 50. Think back to your last few meals. What did your plate look like? Not just in portion size, but in color. Was it beige? Maybe light brown toast, pale eggs, a sandwich with white bread, maybe some rice or pasta, a piece of meat, maybe a potato. It's not unhealthy, but it's missing something essential. Color, not for the sake of beauty, but for what those colors represent. Nutrient density, variety, and life. This is the second principle of healthy eating after 50, eating with color. Because the brighter your food, the more likely it is to contain the vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants your aging body needs most. And yet, as we get older, our plates get duller. Smaller appetites, simpler meals, the pull toward what's familiar. We make what's easy, what doesn't require a recipe, what cooks fast. And without realizing it, we slide into monotony and malnutrition. But here's what's powerful. The cure isn't complex. You don't need to memorize nutrients. You don't need a food scale or a book. You just need to aim for 2 to 3 different colors on your plate at each meal. Not dyes, not artificial. Natural color from fruits, vegetables, herbs, spices. The greens of spinach, kale, or zucchini. The reds of tomatoes, bell peppers, strawberries. The oranges of carrots, sweet potatoes, squash. The purples of eggplant, cabbage, blueberries. The yellows of corn, mango, turmeric. Each of these colors offers something your body craves. Red foods often support heart health. Orange ones boost eye function. Green fuels the liver and bones. Purple enhances memory. White vegetables like garlic and onions. Powerful for immunity. You don't need all of them every day. You just need variety over time. Try this for 1 week. Write down the colors you eat. Not calories, colors. You'll quickly see the gaps. Then begin to fill them. Add spinach to eggs. Toss berries on oatmeal. Keep chopped bell peppers in the fridge for snacks. Choose purple cabbage instead of lettuce. Roast sweet potatoes with cinnamon. Color makes food more inviting and your body more alive. Linda, 66, said she used to eat the same breakfast and lunch every day. Toast, cereal, coffee, a turkey sandwich. I didn't feel bad, she said, but I didn't feel good either. A friend suggested adding color. She started small. Tomatoes on eggs. A side of blueberries. Roasted carrots with dinner. Within weeks, her digestion improved. Her skin looked better. But mostly, she said, I looked forward to food again. That matters. Because food should not be a routine you survive. It should be a part of how you stay vibrant. Add color, not to impress your doctor, but to remind your body and yourself that you still deserve meals that feel alive. And once you've added protein and color, the next step might surprise you. It's not about cutting fat. It's about including the right kinds of fat because your brain, joints, and hormones depend on it more than ever after 50. For decades, we were told that fat was the enemy. Low-fat yogurt, fat-free crackers, cooking sprays instead of oils, butter replaced with margarine. And for a while, it seemed like the right path. Less fat, fewer problems, right? But as the years passed, something else happened. People got weaker, foggy, achy, hungrier more often, more prone to mood swings, hormone imbalance, and joint pain. And now we know why. Fat was never the problem. The wrong kinds of fat were. And more importantly, the absence of good fat was. This is the third key principle of nutrition after 50. Don't fear healthy fat. Embrace it, because once you pass midlife, your body relies on fat for critical functions. Your brain is nearly 60% fat by weight. It needs omega-3s for clarity, memory, and mood. Your joints need lubrication. Your hormones, especially those related to sleep, energy, and stress, require dietary fat to stay in balance. And good fat, it also helps you absorb essential vitamins like A, D, E, and K. Without it, even the most colorful vegetables can't do their job fully. So what are the good fats? Think simple, real, natural, extra virgin olive oil, avocados, fatty fish like salmon, sardines, or mackerel, raw or lightly toasted nuts, walnuts, almonds, pecans, seeds like flax, chia, pumpkin. Even small amounts of high-quality butter or ghee can have their place, especially when replacing processed spreads. What should you limit? Highly processed vegetable oils, corn, soybean, sunflower in excess. Anything hydrogenated, deep-fried foods, artificial trans fats. These are the ones linked to inflammation, cardiovascular strain, and long-term health decline. But whole food fats, they support healing. They make meals satisfying. They stabilize blood sugar. They protect against age-related cognitive decline. And they help you stay fuller longer, reducing cravings and unnecessary snacking. Janice, 69, used to avoid fat completely. I thought it was good discipline, she said. I lived on salads and crackers. But she constantly felt cold, tired, and mentally foggy. Her doctor gently encouraged her to bring back some richness. Olive oil drizzled on vegetables, salmon twice a week, a spoonful of almond butter with fruit. Within a month, her energy changed. Her memory felt sharper. And, she added with a smile, I stopped obsessing over food. I felt more satisfied. You don't need to drown your meals in oil. You don't need to eat coconut everything. But a tablespoon of olive oil here, a handful of walnuts there, a few slices of avocado. These small additions nourish deeply. Think of fat not as something to limit, but as something to choose wisely. It's not just a source of energy. It's a source of support for your brain, your heart, your balance. And the best part? It makes food taste better, which makes eating more joyful. And that's where we're headed next. Joy. Because the next principle of eating well after 50 isn't just about nutrients. It's about how you relate to food emotionally, and how years of guilt and rules can quietly steal your health. Even when your meals are correct, you can eat the right foods. You can follow all the best advice. You can read labels, avoid sugar, add protein, include color. But if every meal feels like a battle, something's missing. Something essential. Peace. This is the fourth principle of good nutrition after 50, healing your relationship with food. Because after decades of conflicting messages, eat less, don't eat after 7, carbs are bad, you must control every bite. Many people over 50 have quietly developed a stressful, even fearful relationship with eating. Meals become filled with rules, guilt, overthinking. You eat something sweet, and the voice in your head says, you've ruined the day. You skip a vegetable and think you're backsliding. You enjoy a piece of pie at a birthday, and here, you'll pay for that tomorrow. But food is not punishment, and it's not morality. Food is connection, nourishment, memory, joy. Yes, it can be medicine. Yes, it can hurt or help depending on your choices. But when every bite becomes a judgment, the stress you create does more harm than a piece of bread ever could. Cortisol, the body's stress hormone, rises in response to fear, even fear of food. And long-term elevated cortisol leads to weight gain, blood sugar problems, sleep disturbances, and digestive trouble. So even if you're eating perfectly, stress can undo the benefits. What's the antidote? Relaxation, gratitude, joy. Eat without screens. Chew slowly. Sit down at a table, even if just for 10 minutes. Use a real plate. Take a breath before your first bite. Think, not about calories, but about nourishment. What am I giving my body right now that will help it feel good later? And if what you're eating isn't perfect, that's okay. Ask instead, does this meal make me feel alive, grounded, comforted, clear? If it doesn't, adjust. If it does, enjoy it fully. Susan, 72, said she spent 30 years trying to eat right. Every meal was an internal debate. Is this too much fat? Is this too late in the day? Is this allowed? I was always anxious, she said, and I never felt good about food. Even when I was doing everything right, she began practicing one new habit: no food shame. If she ate something rich, she balanced it later. If she overate, she forgave herself. If she enjoyed dessert, she savored it. And suddenly, food started helping me again. Not just my body, my mind. That's the secret. The way you eat isn't just about what's on your plate. It's how you feel about it. And when that relationship softens, the body softens. Digestion improves. Blood pressure lowers. Sleep deepens. So let yourself enjoy food again. Let go of guilt. Let go of punishment. Let food become part of your wellness, not a test you keep failing. And as we wrap up, there's one last principle to explore. It has nothing to do with nutrients and everything to do with consistency. Because the best food plan in the world means nothing if you can't keep doing it. And for that, you need rhythm. You need ease. You need a structure that feels like your life, not someone else's checklist. You've probably tried something before: a new eating plan, a resolution, maybe even a strict diet that promised more energy, better sleep, fewer aches. And for a few days, or even a few weeks, it worked. You felt proud, focused, committed. But then life happened. You traveled, got tired, lost motivation. The schedule changed. The fridge got empty. And the plan? It disappeared. Slowly, the old habits returned. Not because you're weak, not because you failed, but because it wasn't built to last. It didn't fit your real life. That's why the sixth and final principle of good nutrition after 50 is this: build sustainable rhythm, not rigid rules. The body doesn't need perfection. It needs consistency, predictability, gentle structure. Think of your meals like the rising and setting of the sun, something steady, not rushed, not skipped, not chaotic. Your body thrives when it knows food is coming, when it can trust the rhythm. That means eat regularly, not just when you remember, not just when you're starving. Start with a real breakfast, something warm, something with protein, something that tells your metabolism we're alive and moving today. Have lunch around the same time when possible. Make it substantial, something that fills, not just distracts. And dinner, light, grounding, no later than 2 hours before bed, if you can help it. You don't need 6 meals. You don't need charts, but you do need something repeatable, because repetition is where the body finds ease. And ease is where digestion improves, where hormones balance, where energy stabilizes. Another part of rhythm: preparedness. Keep your fridge stocked with basics. Cook once, eat twice. Make simple things easy to grab. Chopped veggies, hard-boiled eggs, leftover soups, hummus and crackers. The easier it is to eat well, the more likely you are to do it. And when you miss a day, don't quit. Recenter. Come back. One off day doesn't undo a pattern. It's the story you tell yourself about that day that matters. Mike, 75, said he used to reset every Monday. That meant strict plans, no carbs, no treats, endless rules. And by Wednesday, he was exhausted. I was always starting over, he said, until I stopped trying to start perfect. I started repeating simple. Now he has oatmeal with walnuts and berries most mornings, soup or salad for lunch, stir fry or baked fish for dinner. I don't count anything, he says, but I feel steady. That's new for me. Steady is enough. You don't need dramatic. You need durable. Something you can still do on tired days, on quiet days, on days when grief visits, on days when joy returns. Because eating well isn't about changing everything. It's about changing enough, gently, honestly, sustainably. So let's bring it all together. What does good nutrition after 50 look like? It looks like meals built on protein, plates full of color, healthy fats that soothe and nourish, a kind relationship with food, a rhythm that matches your life, and most of all, meals that you actually enjoy, that comfort and support you, that bring your energy back. You don't need a new identity. You don't need a miracle food. You just need to start listening to what your body has been asking for all along. And when you do, it responds. With steadier energy, better sleep, a clearer mind, and a stronger sense that you're still living, not just lasting. Thank you for being here. If something in this video resonated with you, share in the comments. We love hearing your thoughts. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and come back soon for more honest, gentle ways to take care of yourself, without pressure, without perfection, just with presence.